What was the most fricked up or embarrassing Christmas gift you ever received? I had mentioned to my uncle one year that I wished I could grow a beard like his. Come Christmas time, my uncle hands me the present he got me. I unwrap it and what do you know? It's his beard in a Ziploc bag. Thank God you didn't wish you could grow pubes. A wooden pop-out playset from my aunt. Recommended age was 2-4. I was 14. I'm always worried about becoming that aunt. I try to put some thought into gifts for them. A gift code to a lingerie store from my grandma. The fricked up part wasn't the gift itself, but the fact that she made my poor 19-year-old brother go in and buy it. As he told it, the conversation went something like this. Cashier, shopping for your girlfriend? Brother, no, my sister. Well, my grandma. Awkward silence. This is one of those times where lying is called for. My sister got a bag of Kroger shredded cheese from my aunt one year. My mom gave me a bag of fried onions for my 30th birthday. Your sis and I should find somebody who got green beans or something and try to whip up a casserole. My parents are separated and when I was younger I had really wanted an N64. Both my mom and my dad asked what I wanted, and I told them, along with my grandparents. Come Christmas morning I was delighted to find an N64 beneath the tree. Lo and behold, I go to my grandparents' house later that day to open one last present under the tree. An N64. Atomic Purple controller too. My mom hadn't been talking a lot with my grandparents at the time and the miscommunication about who was getting what was pretty obvious based on the look people were giving each other. Next day my mom drops me off at my dad's. They didn't get along a lot at the time, and jokingly says, I don't suppose you got him an N64 too, and my dad's eyebrows shot up about a foot. Donkey Kong edition. To this day I still have all three. I love how you slowly got a cooler system. In the late 70s, all the cool kids wore Ocean Pacific brand clothing. We were kinda poor, so my mom and grandma made most of our clothes. My grandma made me pants and hand stitched the letters O and P on the pockets. Look nothing like the real thing. I had to wear them. Oh number. Those presents are the worst of all. You know they mean really well and want you to fit in and be happy, but somehow don't catch on that this makes everything so much worse. My uncle presented my family with a very large gourd once, in the middle of a restaurant. No one wanted it. We left it there. I'm picturing your uncle as a very proud Uncle Fester, complete with black robe, walking into the restaurant, looking around earnestly for your family, finally seeing you, walking up to your table and then gingerly placing a huge pumpkin on the center of the table before walking out, without saying a word. I once got a framed and deliberately posed picture of myself that I have no recollection of ever being taken. A couple weeks ago I found a picture of my dad on his company's website. I showed him and at first he denied it was him, but then he realized it was him. He just has no idea where he was or who he was within the picture. Since then I've caught him on the computer twice, looking at that picture again. Poor old dude still can't figure it out. Grandma's got me a douche and a hospital gown that would make a nice dress if someone sewed it all up for me. That was weird. When I was a kid, my grandma heavily favored me over my little sister. One year she bought me a cool set of Pokemon, which was my absolute favorite thing at the time. She bought my sister a weasel ball, i.e. a toy meant for cats. My uncle got me a giant block of cement once. He put random things throughout the block and gave me a miniature hammer and chisel. I actually chiseled through the whole thing and found some coins and what appeared to be a arrowhead. My uncle is the strange one in our family. That would be a pretty cool gift actually, if there were cool enough things inside it. I didn't see my grandpa that often as a kid, so whenever he bought presents for me and my brothers there were always the cliche, terrible grandparents gifts. One year, I remember he got me this incredibly freaky porcelain jester baby sitting cross-legged on a pillow. When you wound up the key on the back, it would slowly start spinning at the hips while playing a song from a tiny internal music box. It made the best torment fuel against my brothers for a long time though, so that was good. Pink panties from my crazy grandpa. Yep, I'm a guy. It was back when I was 12, that awkward middle school age. When I was younger, I always gave my mom a list of things I wanted for Christmas. She would share it with my family extended as well. During my freshman year in high school, I thought I should get a thong or two. That year, my grandparents bought me 2 Victoria's Secret thongs with animal print. One Christmas I got 18 pairs of socks. I was probably 12 and I tried really hard to look grateful and thank my parents, but with each pair I opened I got progressively more upset. It didn't help my brother was tearing through his toys and video games. I ended up excusing myself to go to the bathroom and started crying. My mom came to get me and asked me what was wrong. She said to stop crying and come back to the living room. She then gave me my real gift, a laptop. The reason I got socks was my mom just wanted me to have something to unwrap because my brother had a lot of cheaper stuff, where I had one bigger thing. I felt incredibly spoiled and embarrassed. Definitely a happy ending. My grandma gave me bright red undies with googly eyes on them and an extra piece of black cloth to put your dong inside as the nose. I'm a girl. Reddit Secret Santa them to someone. My first Christmas with my wife's family. They have Dirty Santa. Her dad takes it seriously and gets adult themed presents, but he is the only one. I just happened to pick his gift bag. It's a rubber dong and a porno with anal in the title. It got stolen from me later, but then I showed them all by stealing it back in the last round. It sits in my nightstand now 7 years later and I still poke my wife in the butt and ask her if she wants to try her dad's dong from time to time. It was a shirt that had "I'm not a gynecologist but I'll take a look anyway." It was from my stepdad's mom. She knows I want to be a doctor and her English is no bueno. I found it hilarious. Once we translated it to her she almost cried from embarrassment. I proudly wore it for the rest of the day. Haha, a similar thing happened to me. One of my sister's friend was in the earlier stages of learning English, and she knows I love animals. So she got me a cute little shirt that said "I like my boyfriend but I love my beaver." I was 8 at the time so I had no idea. My sister told me the story a few years later, and we still give the poor girl heck about it. I got a book called Coping with Being Adopted from Santa while I was in high school. Was news to me. I was dating this girl. She knew I was self-conscious about my teeth. I have fluorosis, so I wouldn't smile very much. When I did, I'd try really hard to hide my teeth. Well, this girl's family bought me a toothbrush. It even had my name on it. I got a bucket. Just a bucket. Not me, but one year my cousin gave my mom a box of tampons. She's in her 60s and well past menopause. It definitely made for an awkward Christmas. My cousin had died in a drunk driving accident a few months before, so my mom got me a breathal as a keychain. It wouldn't have been so bad, but the card it came with said it was from my cousin. I see what my mom was trying to do, but still freaked up. Emo. 3 years ago I got a shake weight Christmas morning. When I opened it my dad laughed and yelled, "It's for practice when you get bored in the dorms," while making a jacking off handy gesture in front of my grandparents. And now you have the arms of a god. I got a thong from my step-grandpa when I was in 3rd grade. When I was 8 I got a lighter from my grandmother. I am not done yet. On the lighter was a marijuana leaf and it said "Nature's way of staying high." My grandmother had thought it was a cartoon of a plant giving a high five, and I thought it said "Nature's way of saying hi" with high as in high with a plant hand. Wasn't a Christmas gift, but a really notable birthday gift for a 16-year-old girl. My twin sister and I received coordinating lingerie from my older brother and his mail order bride. It was really awkward. I really hope it was just a culture thing on her part. I once got a used copy of the Snakes on a Plane soundtrack. Upon later investigation, the disc was cracked. The next year I received a copy of the movie. I have never expressed an interest in soap. How baffling. You should have gifted them the following year with your own soap fanit. My parents always did a Christmas auction at their house with little gifts and silly ones. I spent $700 Monopoly money on frozen cat crap. That's quite the exchange rate. My girlfriend's mom gave me a Christmas ornament. The ornament was 2 brass-colored objects, glued together, with a string attached to both of them. When you pull the string taut, it looks like a dong and testicles. She told me this is because I have brass balls to ask her if I could take her daughter with me for a weekend trip alone. Best part is, the family is Jewish. I love them, most of the time. A week before I married my husband, his older sister got me a gift bag of lube, and I had to return it cause I checked the ingredients and was allergic to all of them. There was no moment in my life quite as embarrassing as having to return a full gift basket of like a dozen different types of lubricants to the little old lady at Target. The returns lady at Target has seen everything. She didn't care. My grandmother gave my boyfriend a coffee mug with a German Shepherd dog on it. He has never owned nor expressed any interest in German Shepherds. He uses it at work. It's a great conversation starter. Oh, do you have a German Shepherd? Number, comma. My brother, who always gives hilarious gifts, got my wife and I a clapper one year, which is pretty funny on its own. We put it in the bedroom, thinking it would be super convenient to turn the light off after watching TV for a bit without getting out of bed. It turns out, the clapper works with all kinds of noise, so, freaking would turn our bedroom into a disco. My grandparents are notorious regifters. There was this old, broken pinball game thing that every time they'd gift to one of us, we'd leave it at their house. Then they would find it and gift it again in a couple years, like we'd forgotten. One time they gave my mom 3 wine glasses. One was chipped. Yes, this is my family. Last Christmas I bought my uncle a few nice shirts, and that June for my boyfriend's birthday he mailed them all to him. Tags still in, at least. My dad, meanwhile, has had 3 different fiancés in the past 20 years, and 1 ring. I had left some video games in my mom's room. She found them and assumed my dad had bought them as Christmas gifts for me. So for Christmas I got my own games. I hope you thanked yourself. I was not the recipient of this gift, but my uncle, who had 6 children at the time, was given a very large box of condoms from my aunt, his sister. My cousins were not impressed. Could be worse. My brother-in-law and all the other male cousins got a huge box of condoms as a going away to college present. My husband didn't. I guess they assumed he'd never get laid. The Christmas after I started my period, my parents gave me a Super Plus economy-sized pack of maxi pads. One Christmas, my 4-year-old brother got a TV with a DVD and VHS player in it. My sister got a computer, and I got a bookshelf. I was peed. My sister didn't even like computers. WTF. I guess to add insult to injury, a few years later she was given a printer. Like, she had a big heavy gift. She got all pumped in the days preceding Christmas, and when she opened it, it was a printer. She cried for like an hour. It was terrible. On the upside, we really needed a new printer. That actually just sounds like your parents bought things they needed and then randomly assigned them to you and your siblings as Christmas presents. My wife's grandmother is a complete narcissist, and one year she gave everybody in her family, including kids under the age of 10, handmade tree ornaments with a picture of herself in the middle. This was so no one would forget their grandmother at Christmas. It's been 20 years, but I still make my wife hang it since I find it hilarious. Never in my life have I seen a single object capture the whole of someone's personality so completely. It's like we own her grandmother's soul. Destroy it. It's a Horcrux. Not embarrassing but awkward as frick. My dad bought my mom an actual human skull for Christmas a few years back. He wrapped it in a box some toy came in. My parents are weird. This wouldn't have raised an eyebrow at my house. Unfortunately we did our gift exchange at my maternal grandmother's, who is much less creative with gifts. My dad and brother waited for this to be the last gift given. It was a big presentation. Upon opening it my mom squealed and shoved it back in the box. She was excited but knew it wouldn't go over well. Of course now everyone wants to know what is in the box. My grandma insists my mom take out the mysterious gift and show it to the room. My aunt started screaming, made her kids leave the room. My grandma almost fainted and told us to get it out of the house immediately. 'Twas hilarious. I had really bad allergies when I was younger. There was an old lady who lived on the other side of the block. She lived alone, not even any pets. She was nice enough but anyone could tell she wasn't all there, probably from being lonely for so many years. I would often run into her at the bus stop in the mornings waiting for the school bus. In early February I saw her walk up to the street corner near the bus stop. When she saw I was there, She did a 180 and scurried back home. I thought it was strange. 5 minutes later she comes back up to the bus stop and extremely excitedly says hello and starts asking how I was. I entertain her since I am probably the first person to talk to her in days. And because she is genuinely a nice old lady, I have a late Christmas present for you. I was shopping and when I saw them, I thought of you. She hands me a perfectly wrapped present. It even had the curled ribbon tied around it. I opened it and it was a 4-pack of handkerchiefs. She absolutely explodes with happiness when I finally see what was in there. She explains that they reminded me of you at least 3 more times before my bus arrived. I actually kind of think that's sweet. She probably thought that would help. My grandmother bought me a little piano book when I was about 10. It was meant for a 6-year-old. It had some little electric buttons on it to look like a numbered piano, and nursery rhymes with numbers over the words so you could play the songs. Things like 3 Blind Mice and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It was a real baby present, and as soon as she gave it to me she was immediately embarrassed and offered to exchange it for something for an older kid. I guess she was also embarrassed because we lived 1,000 kilometers away and didn't see each other very much and probably remembered me as a younger kid. I learned every freaking one of those songs. She died 18 years ago now. I still miss her so much. This wasn't my gift, but it was the most awkward situation ever. So a few years ago my grandma had her legs amputated. Don't feel bad. Since then, her health has improved a ton. Anyway, last Christmas my aunt bought her socks. It was awful. Every year my family does a secret Santa on Christmas. When I was about 10 my aunt had to buy me a gift. So Christmas morning I open my gift, and I find a Christmas sweater along with a pair of my aunt's crap stained underwear. Apparently she was doing laundry and wrapping gifts at the same time and got the two mixed up. A few years back, my sisters and I all got a bottle of toilet cleaner in our stockings. When my parents woke up, we were like, what the frick, Mom? She just said that it was a new cleaner that she had tried and it was so amazing that we all just had to try it. Okay Mom, thanks. It wasn't one I got but that I gave. A magnificent silver butt plug for my best friend. She and her BF kept getting drunk at parties and independently mentioning they both wished they would maybe try some butt stuff. But they were way too repressed to even talk to each other or admit to it when sober. Well, I am not one to allow an opportunity to both tease my friends and potentially help them enjoy a happy private life. So into the stocking it went. They made it out like it was a total joke and that I was their oh so wacky friend, wearing it around like a unicorn horn at New Year's and such. Then it quietly disappeared, and a few months later she confessed they used it. Later he thanked me, but they never admitted to it in public. So I am still known as that crazy friend who bought an inappropriate Christmas gift for her. No regrets. I am the Cyrano de Bergerac of wingman. Or a ninja wingman. Batman. Something. I'm a guy and when I was about 12 my older cousin bought me a butterfly catcher. I didn't hide my confusion well, so she explained she thought I was gay. I'm not gay, I just liked drawing. You have been visited by the gentle doggo. Subscribe to Updoot and he will help you by lowering your stress. Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.